You check your phone again. Still nothing. The hours stretch into a day, then two. Your mind races. Did I say something wrong? Did I come on too strong? Is he losing interest? That familiar knot tightens in your chest. You start replaying every conversation, every emoji, every silence, trying to decode the growing distance. Sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. Every woman, no matter how confident, successful, or self-aware, has experienced the quiet torture of being left on read. Society has conditioned us to believe that silence means rejection. That if he really cared, he'd be texting you every morning, calling you every night, and showering you with attention. And when he doesn't, panic sets in. But here's the truth that no one tells you. His silence is not always about you. And more importantly, it's not your job to fix it. In fact, the way you respond to a man's silence can either drain your power or double it. This video is not about playing games or pretending not to care. It's about understanding the deeper emotional and psychological dynamics at play. It's about learning how to stay rooted in your worth when the world around you feels uncertain. It's about using stoic wisdom, emotional intelligence, and radical self-love to stop spiraling and start rising. So before you send another just checking in text, pause. Because this silence might just be the biggest invitation of your life, not to chase him, but to return to yourself. The lie you've been told since girlhood. From a young age, many women are conditioned to equate love with attention and communication. If he likes you, he'll pursue you. If he really cares, he'll message you every day. This narrative has trained women to view male silence as rejection. It has also created a fragile relationship between a woman's self-esteem and the level of attention she receives from men. But this belief system is deeply flawed. Not only does it ignore the emotional complexity of men, but it also strips women of their power and centers their self-worth around external validation. Male silence, in truth, is rarely that simple. It is not always a dismissal. It can be a reflection of emotional overwhelm, distraction, internal conflict, or even unconscious behavior patterns. The problem isn't that women can't read the signs, it's that they were taught to misread them. Silence as a test and a mirror. Some men, whether intentionally or not, go silent as a way of observing how a woman reacts when he withdraws. It becomes a psychological experiment. Will she panic? Will she chase? Will she become emotionally dependent? The sad truth is that many successful, brilliant women, those who run businesses, raise children, and overcome life's hardest battles, crumble under the weight of unanswered texts. They become consumed by fear and insecurity, their emotional world thrown into chaos by someone else's absence. Every time you reach out to a man who has gone quiet, every time you try to fix the silence or soothe his emotional detachment, you may be communicating something deeper than your words, that your inner peace depends on his presence, and in doing so, you give away a power he does not deserve. What Stoicism teaches about male silence. Here's where ancient wisdom becomes incredibly useful. Stoicism isn't about becoming cold or emotionless. It's about staying grounded and centered while the world, or a man, shifts around you. When a man goes silent, the most powerful response is no response. Not because you're playing games, but because you are already deeply engaged with your own life. A woman who continues her routine, pursues her passions, enjoys her friendships, and nurtures her inner world. In the absence of male attention is a woman who radiates strength. When he returns, and often they do, he finds someone who wasn't waiting. He finds a woman who has stories to tell, dreams to chase, and energy that doesn't revolve around him. His silence is not always about you. This may be difficult to accept, but it's a game changer. Sometimes, his silence has nothing to do with you at all. Men are often raised to compartmentalize. They can be deeply immersed in work, personal challenges, family responsibilities, or even their own emotional struggles. And during that time, relationships are not their top priority. This doesn't mean they don't care. It simply means they process stress and focus differently. But understanding this doesn't mean you have to tolerate emotional neglect. It just means you stop internalizing his silence as a measure of your worth. Empathy without self-abandonment. Many women believe that being compassionate means tolerating everything. But empathy and self-sacrifice are not the same. You can understand why a man goes silent. You can even have compassion for his emotional limitations. But it is still your responsibility to decide if that pattern is compatible with your emotional needs. If you want a partner who communicates, who shares his feelings, and who makes you feel seen, then you're allowed to want that. And you're allowed to walk away if he can't give it to you. Use silence as a signal to return to yourself. His absence isn't a void to be filled with worry. It's an invitation to reconnect with yourself, to pick up the hobbies you abandoned, to deepen your friendships, to pursue the creative or professional goals you've placed on hold, to become the kind of woman who doesn't just survive without a man's attention. She thrives. This inner shift isn't just empowering, it's magnetic. A woman who is complete on her own, who isn't driven by anxiety or need, has an energy that draws people in, not from manipulation or desperation, but from wholeness. You are not meant to orbit around anyone. You are not a satellite orbiting a man's attention. You are your own sun. The richest, most fulfilling relationships are those where two complete individuals come together, not because they need each other to feel whole, but because they want to share their fullness with each other. When you center yourself, you stop chasing people who pull away. You stop waiting for someone to complete you, and you start attracting relationships that reflect your self-respect and standards. The harsh truth. Sometimes silence is disinterest. Yes, sometimes his silence is exactly what it seems, a lack of interest. He's not busy, he's not confused, he's just not invested. And that truth hurts, but accepting it sets you free. A man who doesn't communicate, who disappears without explanation, who shows you through his actions that he doesn't value your presence, he is doing you a favor. He is revealing, early on, the quality of relationship he is capable of offering. And that gives you the clarity to stop investing in someone who is not emotionally equipped to build something real with you. Transformation starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "Why isn't he calling me?" ask, "What can I create today?" Instead of checking your phone obsessively, check in with your own goals. What do you need? Rest, joy, movement, creative expression. Give to yourself what you've been waiting to receive from him. This shift, from reaction to creation, is where transformation begins. And it doesn't just change your love life. It elevates every area of your existence. You become more confident at work. You set healthier boundaries with friends and family. And you begin choosing partners who meet you where you are emotionally. Becoming the woman who doesn't panic when he goes silent. True transformation happens when you no longer panic in the face of silence. When you no longer feel the need to chase, explain, or convince. Instead, you feel grounded. You feel full. You feel like you. And when he returns, which many do, he won't find the same woman who once waited anxiously. He'll find a woman who has grown, who has centered herself, and who now chooses whether or not she wants him in her life. Don't decode his silence. Define yourself. At the end of the day, the goal isn't to master the art of decoding men's behavior. The goal is to master yourself. To become so secure in who you are that someone else's silence can no longer unsteady you. To build a life so rich in meaning, love, purpose, and joy that no single person's absence can ever empty it. Because the most magnetic, powerful women are not those who need love to survive. They are those who love themselves enough to thrive with or without it. Action step. The next time. He goes silent. Don't reach for your phone. Don't spiral into self-doubt. Pause. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? Not from him, but from myself. Then give that to yourself. That's how you reclaim your power. That's how you stop being the woman who waits and start being the woman who chooses.